Our project is comprehensive protection from electrocution, which is basically an electronic device which is capable of detecting the presence of electric field in a contactless manner. Actually, it was an accident which is faced by one of our senior students. He is an assistant engineer in Kerala State Electricity Board. The accident takes the life of 2 power line workers and 1 fireman. We thought about the situation and studied for developing such a model which is capable of detecting the presence of electric field.
Right from very beginning, I was interested in stuff like robotics and coding. So if you look at robotics, it's basically a sort of artificial intelligence which is done by a set of hardware machine. So my interest in coding asked me to do something in the software side, so I went on learning about machine learning and image processing, and I found out that facial recognition systems have the potential to increase the interaction between the human and the computer to a greater extent.
The current project I am doing is that biomass enhancing accessories. It not only enhances the performance but also traps the smoke and get rid of the smoke away from the user. It came up from a rural background. Many people suffered from the asthma problems and the smoke coming out of the in front of the stoves. They couldn't able to bear. So we created a new enhancing accessories to reduce the smoke and to increase the combustion efficiency.
That's only one half of the young innovators you've met. When we return, we'll give you a sneak peek into the other innovations that will surely grab your attention over the next 9 weeks. But that's after a short little break. You're watching DuPont Presents Power of Shunya Challenge for Zero. We'll be right back.
तो हमारे हस्बैंड रोड एक्सीडेंट हुआ, दैट मीन्स उसका कुछ अनसेफ्टी थी, तो टाटा स्टील में मैं हस्बैंड का सर्विस हमें मिली है.
We were seeing women employees wearing the traditional sarees that could lead to major injuries.
हम लोग टाटा स्टील में साड़ी से पैंट शर्ट में आना पहला लेडीज थे हम लोग. औरत सब कुछ कर सकती है.
भारतीय एक्सा ने बदला है जीवन सुरक्षा का नजरिया अपनी डेडिकेटेड क्लेम्स हैंडलर से.
अब आपके क्लेम सेटलमेंट प्रोसेस को सरल बनाने में हम आपकी सहायता करेंगे.
तभी तो एक्सा दुनिया के बेहतरीन इंश्योरेंस कंपनियों में से एक है. अब डेडिकेटेड क्लेम्स हैंडलर की सुविधा नए सिक्योर इनकम प्लान पर भी उपलब्ध है. भारतीय एक्सा, जीवन सुरक्षा का नया नजरिया.
Welcome back to DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, the Challenge for Zero. Well, so far you've met 12 of our 24 teams of young innovators who made it this far through a rather grueling selection process. And now it's time to meet the other half of our bright young sparks who will try to light up millions of lives with their innovations.
Our basic inspiration is to develop an indigenous, robust underwater technology which will give India a cutting edge, since AUVs are quite popular in other parts of the world. But in India, this technology is completely new. So that was our basic inspiration that triggered us to form a team and do a project on this particular technology.
What happens actually inside a refrigerator? The liquid is evaporated and the latent heat is absorbed and cooling is produced. So I thought that using any liquid which gets evaporated, cooling can be produced. When I saw van running on LPG and near the regulator of that LPG cylinder, frost was generated. So I got confirmation that this concept is working, so the idea is feasible.
The main issue is like an interoperability issue which is facing by the POSOCO, entire power grid, all the control centers. Because a lot of vendors are supplying applications. So with that actually what happens, we cannot achieve a kind of coordination between all the applications which are being placed in the control center. This is my inspiration of can we come up with a kind of a common seamless integration or smooth migration from this approach to a kind of approach like where all the different vendor applications be placed there and then they can have a kind of coordination.
One day I was talking to my neighbor who has a disability in his leg. So while talking to him, I came to know that disabled people don't feel good when others see them as helpless. So while I was thinking to innovate something that can help these people and make them independent. So I came to an idea of innovating this smart wheelchair. We approached Lions Club for our idea, and they appreciated our idea and provided us financial as well as technical support.
Powai Lake rehabilitation program was going on, according to which they were dredging the shores, and at the same time then the innovation cell floated this project about a dredger which can dredge the sediments of lake, go to the bottom and take out the dirty mud or sludge to clean the lake. So I thought, okay, maybe I should do this project, and it will also help me in this rehabilitation program which was going on there in Powai Lake.
I was searching for a topic for my PhD. Then I told my mentor, Dr. P.M. Pandey, that I want to do something for the suffering community. So then he took me to the Professor Alok Arre, who is the head of biomedical center here in IIT Delhi. Then he gave me the idea that you should do something for the babies, newborn babies, and the problem suggested was clubfoot. The inspiration behind is that I should do to remove some suffering from the world, particularly from India, that where is hot weather and it is very difficult to keep the cluster of Paris. So I was trying to remove that cluster of Paris.
As a part of my PhD research, I have developed one finishing tool which can be used for finishing of highly complex surfaces. We are talking about the many disabled peoples of India. So now when we are talking about them, that many of them are getting this implant because of some accidents and some premature failure, and many of them because of the age only. When you give these type of implants which are very cost effective and reliable, and when they install in that body and they feel lot of happiness in terms of that day-to-day activities, we are contributing something to those people, that they are actually coming out of their very dark life and they again enjoying all this happiness.
My mentor actually was already working on processing of red capsicum, and one day she called me to assist her while processing red capsicum. And while I was doing the work, I found my hands got soiled into the material and the color was not going from my hands. Then I realized the importance of what was the color actually which was so intense, and I sat back with my mentor, had a series of discussions with her, and finally we reached to a point where we actually wanted to tap the importance of this vegetable, because this vegetable is not being commercialized yet.
We have developed silk-based intervertebral discs through tissue engineering, which can be used to replace the degenerated disc in a spinal column. And then the next major challenge was to replicate the structural organization of the collagen fibers. So to achieve this, we have designed a winding machine or an apparatus which can be used to precisely align the silk fibers in an angle of 30 degrees, so in one layer in plus 30 degrees, so in the next layer it will be at minus 30 degrees. So there will be a crisscross arrangement, and this crisscross arrangement will be responsible for guiding the cells as well as the newly synthesized ECM proteins to follow the same orientation as that of the silk fibers. And together this will contribute to the overall mechanical behavior of the silk-based intervertebral disc. And this silk-based intervertebral disc could offer a probable solution, or it could be a promising candidate for solving the problem of low back pain.
All of us must have some device which he or she can use to check the purity of that water, because the techniques which exist now, the spectrography techniques, they are time consuming and they are expensive as well. So they are not practical for every scenario. So we wanted to have a device so that anyone could check the purity of water before consuming it.
When people think of designing for disabled people, they just consider them as disabled. But here we took some more time and find out their capabilities. And that's why we can say we come up with this design, stair climbing manual wheelchair, because most of the design that happens all over the world who have developed this wheelchair. They are just battery operated one. But since they are using wheelchairs so often, they have good upper body strength, and we thought of their capabilities and linking that along with the design. So our design is making them more capable.
We lose about 60 million tons of fruit and vegetable yearly in India. On one side we have fruit vegetable losses, on another side we have malnutrition and food insecurity. So the idea of solar conduction dryer is how we can preserve the fruit and vegetable at a local prices, then we cannot fetch a market price. We can preserve it and use it throughout the year.
You've just met the visionary young minds who are ready with these wonderful innovations. And this is where it will all happen. In this very arena, 24 teams, 24 fantastic innovations that will take us to zero. 48 bright young innovators and business school students. So the stage is set. Who will impact a million lives? Which team will champion the cause for a better world, a better tomorrow? In the next 9 weeks, we will find out how a small, insignificant zero can change lives. So be with us for this exciting journey. Till next week, search for your own Shunya. Goodbye.
Today is unlike any other day. Because today, there are 150,000 more people in the world than yesterday. Which means we face even bigger challenges than we did just last night. It means the need for science-based solutions is now more pressing, as is a collaboration to find them. Working with one another is the only way we'll be able to provide more nutritious and safer food to this ever-growing population. Partnering on a global scale is how we will arrive at more sustainable energy solutions for a planet that increasingly demands them. Coming together is how we will better protect the Earth and the billions who call it home. DuPont is reaching out across corporations, governments, disciplines, and borders to find these answers. And we invite you to join us. Rest assured, we won't stop searching, exploring, collaborating, until we all live healthier, better, and safer lives. Welcome to the Global Collaboratory. Welcome to DuPont.
The strongest cyclone to threaten India in more than a decade, Cyclone Phelan, will hit coastal Orissa and Andhra Pradesh today. The storm, likely to affect around 1.2 crore people, has triggered a mass exodus in at least 7 districts of the 2 states. There is a new twist in the NSCL fiasco. Former MD and CEO Anjani Sinha tells ET Now that he will appear before the Economic Offences Wing of the Mumbai Police amid allegations that NSCL was running a Ponzi scheme and had never intended to run an exchange. That's an ET Now exclusive. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram remains confident that India will grow at over 5% in FY14, aided by the strong export growth. Disagreeing with the IMF's pessimism over global growth, Chidambaram adds that the recent steps taken by the government will bear fruit in the second half of the current fiscal. Factory output takes a beating in August. IIP growth slumps to 0.6% versus a robust growth of 2.6% in the previous month. Manufacturing and mining are the worst hit. Capital goods too slips into the negative territory. You're watching Business Day here on ET Now. I'm Krishna Kumar. First up, the strongest cyclone to threaten India in more than a decade. Cyclone Phelan will hit coastal Orissa and Andhra Pradesh today. Heavy rainfall is also expected in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and other parts of